morning guys, and welcome to another video. We are back in Kasab airfield in the Persian Gulf. This is basically a re-recording of the video I done yesterday of the ILS approach. I probably didn't explain things overly well, so I thought, and a couple of comments have sort of alluded to that as well. So I thought I'd re-record it and probably go into a little bit more information how I was doing everything. Plus a couple of things were sort of brought to my attention that I was kind of overlooking as well, so let's deal with that. So let's go ahead and turn on some lighting here so we can see what we're doing. So yeah, I have created a route out of here on the mission editor, which we'll be able to see here on the digital map here, but we just need to finish it off, tell it where we are coming back in. So we are heading out on runway 01 and taking a turn to the right here and coming back in on ourselves. So let's go into the CNIMU and just put in a little bit more information. So we are going to go to Route 1 and we can see that the ICAO for our origin is already in there. So Oscar Kilo Bravo. Well, where do you get that? Well, if you come onto the F10 map and if you click on the airfield, you will get all the identifiers. So we have Oscar Kilo Bravo, the runway elevation, the runway length, the coordinates, whether there's a TACAN, VOR or RSBN. You'll get your ATC frequencies, your runways, and if there's any ILS approaches on those as well, plus inner and outer NDBs, etc. So we are going to be using the identifier, the ICAO. We're also going to be using the ILS identifier as well as the radio frequency. So what is an ILS? It's a precision instrument landing system. It gives lateral and vertical guidance to the aircraft, and we'll be able to see that on the HUD. So let's go and put in some of this information here and get ourselves underway. So as I say, first things first, we'll get the information in here. So we are coming back on Oscar Kilo Bravo, and we have our departures and our arrivals, so let's click on that. We are going to be departing on runway 01. And we are going to be coming back on runway 19. If you're not sure what the active airfield is, you can speak to ATC. So if we do that, so 124 decimal 350 was the radio frequency on VHF. Let's select the correct radio. And let's contact tower. So ATC, Kasab.
Infield, request startup.
So it's going to ask about the startup, but that was obviously because we're already started. But you generally do that before starting engines. Let's request taxi to runway.
Infield, request taxi to runway.
There we go. So that is the active runway, is runway 01. So we know that, so let's go ahead and have a look at the legs page, and we can see our route here. We can also see there's a discontinuity. So if we go next page, you'll see our final is runway 19. So we need to clear that discontinuity so that we can close up that route. So let's go ahead and do that. So delete, and then on the left key next to it, and then you'll see that our route is now closed up and it's going to bring us back in. So let's go ahead and execute that. We are going to go into the index and we're going to enter the nav data for the ILS. So page 2, into nav data, and we need to put in the identifier for that. So you can get that either from F10, which it'll tell you that it's Indigo Bravo Kilo Sierra, but also if you type in the frequency up here, up on nav, so 110.3, and that is going into VOR1. It'll give you the identifier as well as the frequency that you're working on. So we want to put in Indigo Bravo Kilo Sierra. So Indigo Bravo Kilo Sierra. Okay, so it fills in some information here, so you get your lat long. The magnetic variation, we'll talk about that in a second. The elevation, the frequency, the type, it's an ILS, and we've got a localizer, and it gives us our final course as well, which is 192. So these kind of go hand in hand here. So if we look at the F10 map, so it was telling us final course was 192. Now if you use the center line on the airfield with the ruler tool, and if you have a look at that heading, it is 194 degrees. Well, that's off what the heading is. So true magnetic is 192, and if you look at the compass rose, you'll see that there's a magnetic variation listed on the compass rose. Now, depending on whether you're in the north or southern hemisphere, that'll change. It'll also change throughout the year. But yeah, so plus 2.3, we're going to round that down to the 2 degrees. And we're going to take that off from the true runway heading, and that is where you get the 192. So it's 194 true, 192 magnetic. Okay, so we now know that. So we are going to go into our main menu here. We're going to go into nav select, and we're going to go to VOR1. Now you'll see that we have our arrow here, plus these dots. So when you are on nav, you're going to line up that central dot to the arrow. So you can see it's to the left, so we need to move, we need to fly to the left to capture that. But you've also got your course heading up here as well. Now we're going to change that to the final course, which was 192, so that when we arm the approach, it will capture that. So let's do that. So 192. All right. You've also got the glide slope indicator on the left-hand side. So we have the triangle here, which is the indication. So it'll move up and down depending on whether you're above the glide slope or below the glide slope. Right now it's showing that we are above it because we're on the ground. So let's switch back to our nav one on the CDI. And we are gonna get ourselves taxied out to runway 1. A couple other things that we need to adjust. We need to change our angle of attack. So it's got currently our landing reference, which is a 3-degree approach. We're gonna take off with a 7.5 degree. So you can see it's putting the reference mark on the HUD. We're going to use that for climbing out. So I'm going to do 7.5 degrees. We need to change our horsepower. So again, if we have a look in the told page, your takeoff landing page, and you look at the takeoff data, the power is going to be 4,705, but we will round it to the nearest 50, which is 4,700. That's going to limit the power to the engines for that. You can also see what that is set to on your engine page. So if we put that on HDD3, got your indication there. Also got your ACOS, your automatic caution and warning system. So anti-skid is off currently. What else are we needing here? Our V-speeds. Our V-speed refusal is 96 knots. Rotation is 96 knots. And our V-speed for obstructions is 112 knots, which is what we have dialed on our indicated airspeed. So this marker here that is extending down currently will change when you are on speed. It won't be either above or below. It will be level with your indication there. All right, I think we are pretty much good to go. So let's go ahead and get our nav radar up. We're gonna go to defaults and takeoff and approach, which is gonna switch everything over for you. So we are gonna also go back to main menu. We're going to click on the nav radar. I'm going to offset this and I'm going to put it to 20 miles. So 20-mile range makes it a little easier. And then when we're up in the air, I'll go ahead and put the digital map back on HDD2. So yeah, all good. Obviously, we've also got, you can change, so magnetic, true, and grid. So yeah, magnetic, and you can see the variation here on true. All right, okay, so let's get taxiing. Let's get some lights on and get our nav lights. Oh, don't want covert. Let's go. Right, parking brake is off. We've got 50 flaps dialed in. Our trim is set. So we need to come off low speed ground idle so that the engines are producing the power. And now that they are producing power, we can go ahead and turn off the APU. If you turn off the APU before you come out of low speed ground idle, you won't lose the aircraft power, and you will have to realign and all the rest of it. Let's get out here. So we're taxiing on to Bravo. Contact the tower in a second here, so we can get clearance to take off. Right, so let's hold short here and request takeoff.
Enfield, request takeoff. Enfield, you are cleared for takeoff when ready. Climb 300 at QFE 30.27.
Cleared to take off runway 01. Okay, we'll get lined up and we'll just do a couple of checks here, make sure everything is set where we're wanting it. Right, hold here. Alright, so we are flaps 50, trim is set, we've got our nav up, we've got our engines, got lights. Other thing that we're going to do here is we're going to sync the head in. So if you click on the head in bug, it's going to sync your head in to the way you're facing, which is very handy should you need to if should you get directed to turn to a certain heading by ATC. Be also handy if you need to come off nav for some reason, but we will be using that as well. Let's dial in an altitude. We're going to climb up to 3,200 feet. So that is dialed in and selected. We're going to go ahead and arm nav. And we are good to go. So let's get out. So refusal and rotation speed was 96 knots. So let's go. Throttling up. Let's go. Okay, V1, rotate. Positive rate, gear up. And we'll go climb at that 7.5 degrees. Okay, let's get flaps up. And let's go ahead and turn on the autopilot, and we'll get things sorted out a little bit here as well. Right, we are on the way, so let's go ahead and go to the main menu, and we're going to bring the digimap up onto HDD2. Okay, perfect. And you can see our nav source has got us centered on the nav. Let's go follow the route round.
1,000 to go.
1,000 to go. Let's shallow out that climb so it's not as abrupt when it captures. There we go. So yeah, as you turn, as you get on to level now, just go ahead and bug your head in again. And we're going to use that as we come on to approach for switching the nav source. So let's go main menu, let's go nav select and just get that ready. So we're going to be going from nav 1 to VOR 1, which is going to use our ILS. So once we're on approach, I'll go ahead and hold, then we'll arm the approach, and that should be it. So let's go on auto throttle just now, and we're going to slow our speed down here to 200. So let's do that as we turn. Just want to slowly bring our speed down. Let's go ahead and turn off emergency brake so we have an anti-skid. There we go, and that should be good there. Other thing we're going to do as well is we are going to dial in our descent rate. So we're going to want to descend at 3 degrees. Let's dial that in. So -3. Most ILS approaches you'll find are on a 3-degree glide slope. Back to our indicated airspeed. And I'm going to start slowing this to 180. So then we can dial in 50 flaps from there once we're on approach. So if we think of the localizer, it's basically going to be like a invisible string sort of thing. So there's going to be like a capture plate. So there's going to be an altitude at which you capture the glide slope. Normally you'd have like a chart to tell you what that is, but yeah, it's basically an angled line down to the threshold of the runway, and the radio will follow that in. So it will give you lateral left and right and vertical up down guidance. So we'll talk about that once we arm that. So let's bug that head in again. And we're getting ready to turn in 0.1 miles, 30 seconds. And we're doing 180 knots. Okay, on the turn. And we're going to change we're going to go ahead and hold. We are going to change the nav source to VOR1, and then we're going to arm the approach. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So bug the head in, go ahead and hold. We're going to switch to VOR1, and we're going to arm the approach. Okay, so we've got nav capture. We can see that we are below the glide slope just now. So as we get closer, we're going to capture that imaginary line, and then it's going to take us down on that glide slope. So as you see, glide slope arm. We are on the localizer, and we are not far from the glide slope now. So when that captures, I'm going to dial in 50 flaps. And we're going to bring our speed down, so we're going to have a look at the landing speeds on the told page, and we can see 100 flaps. We're going to want to dial in 122 knots. There we go, glide slope has been captured. You can see our arrow is central. So let's dial in 50 flaps. And as we decrease our speed, let's dial that in now, so 122. Under 168 knots, we can lower the gear. And let's dial the rest of those flaps in, so 100 flaps. Okay, so as we descend, eventually I am gonna disarm the autopilot as well as the auto throttle, and then I'll be controlling that, just following the nav and the glide slope here. So get ready for that. So our threshold, we want to be doing 112 knots, touchdown 106 knots. So as we get to around about the last 1,000 feet, is generally when I'll take over. Okay, let's disconnect the autopilot. Aircraft is ours, and let's disconnect the auto throttle, and then we're just following those needles. So keep it nice and central. Just keep on that glide slope. So we're slightly above it just now. You can what? Keep it central as close as you can. And as you get closer to the threshold, you should see the PAPI lights. So we'll see the two white telling us that we are on glide slope. Let's bring that speed down a little bit. It'll be 112 knots. 112 knots on the threshold. So again, just paying more attention to the needles. Now we're a little below the glide slope here. You can see the PAPI lights now. We've got two PAPIs. So we are on glide slope. A little slow. And then we'll use our velocity marker and sort of aim that at our touchdown point. A little bit squirrely as we get down. Okay, I'm going to start bringing that throttle to idle. And a little bit of a flare. And we are down. And into reverse. Alright, and
Taxi to parking area.
off at the first exit. Okay, let's go ahead and clean up, so let's get those flaps up. And let's go ahead and start the APU. Get ourselves into a parking spot here. Okay, APU coming up. Right, APU is 100%. Let's go low speed ground idle on 1, 2, and 4. Get ourselves into that parking spot where we started off. There we go. And that is it. So parking brake is on. Let's go low speed ground idle on 3. And that is it. Let's go ahead and go APU bleed. Just so we've got conditioning, and let's go ahead and shut down the engines. Well, there you go, guys. There is the ILS Approach in the C-130. Hopefully you have found the video helpful. Any questions, feel free to ask, and I'll do the best I can to answer them. Again, thank you very much for watching this video. You guys have a great weekend, and bye for now.